This time yesterday, we were talking about the banning from New Zealand or the refusal of a work visa for Candace Owens. Candace Owens, American social media influencer, millions and millions and millions of followers, Candace Owens, banned from Australia. And I'm going to publish over the weekend the 16-page legal response that her lawyers have filed against the Australian government. I'm just going to publish that in full on the website. And then the New Zealand officials announced that she's also not going to get a work visa here because primarily the Australians wouldn't give her a work visa or allow her into that country. Something happened yesterday. It may have been that a few emails ended up at the minister's office, but it is my absolute understanding from relatively good sources that the Prime Minister raised this issue with Erica Stanford, the Minister of Immigration, yesterday. And yesterday afternoon, I got from the Minister's office confirmation that she has asked for a report early next week from immigration officials, and her office would not say she was reviewing the decision, but they did say, we are asking for a full report on how this decision was reached. So, folks, if you don't think as platform listeners, and when I read out her email address 100 times yesterday, you can make a difference simply by saying what you think. So I am prepared to go out on a limb without official confirmation, say essentially the government is in the process of reviewing the ban on Candace Owens. And you didn't do it on your own, folks. The Free Speech Union were all across this yesterday, and they are offering or looking at legal options to lift the ban on Candace Owens. Joining us now is the boss of the Free Speech. I just like calling him the boss of the Free Speech Union, Jonathan Ayling. Jonathan, mate, nice to have you with us. What were you up to yesterday on this issue?
Well, really, it was Wednesday night when the Herald announced this. I was contacted by another journalist and said, "You want to make a comment on the Candace Owens issue?" And I thought, oh gosh, I don't know about anything that's happened with Candace Owens, and I quickly Googled it and saw that the New Zealand Herald article had just dropped. And we got going fairly quickly, and our team has started to refer to themselves as a rapid response unit. And so within 2 hours Wednesday evening, we had a couple of legal letters sent off to Immigration New Zealand and the ministers. We had contacted the media. We'd contacted our base of 100,000 and wanted to try and, as you're saying there, and as you did very effectively yesterday, continue to build the public pressure on this issue. When I worked in the Beehive, I was in the office of the Associate Minister for Immigration, and the Associate Minister is the one that deals with all the appeal cases. And so I tried to touch base with Chris Pink, and he has a level head on his shoulders and is a strong free speech advocate. And I'm confident that as we can put an appeal case before him eventually, I think, as you're saying, there's appetite to consider that, look at what has happened here, and make sure all the right boxes were ticked by Immigration New Zealand. So that's where we are at this stage. I am hopeful that we will actually see the parliamentary political side of immigration step up and make sure we have the right response here. If not, then we are absolutely preparing legal filings as well. The more we get into the legal case, the more clear it is, or the clearer it is, that this has absolutely been a smokescreen, and Immigration New Zealand is grasping at straws. I think mostly they thought that no one would notice and they would be able to get away with it. And one would notice. My
understanding is, though, I got from the Minister's office, she was given a heads up by Immigration New Zealand under no surprises. I just think they were a bit tone deaf not to realise how this would play out, Jonathan.
Well, that's right. I also think there's an element of arrogance at play here to think that no one would know better than them. And, one or two calls that I made on Wednesday night to a couple of immigration lawyers showed a lot of people around the country who very quickly could pick holes in their argument. That's why we were willing to come out swinging so quickly. Yeah,
and I was surprised at how Jonathan, did you get a clarification? And just as a layperson, I looked at the thing, may deny entry if someone has been denied entry to another country. Is that must or may, as in it's optional? Because it seems to me that's quite important.
Yeah, no, so under Section 15, we have this bizarre law, effectively, that says if someone has been denied entry, or the technical term is excluded, rather. So if someone has been excluded from almost any other country, then by default that occurs here. Now, there is no discretion for immigration in New Zealand there, so the minister has discretion. But the technical term exclusion is one that ebbs and flows a little bit. What has happened with Candace Owens by no means is exclusion. Some of the references there are if someone commits a crime and is to be imprisoned for more than 5 years, or if they are to be deported, then New Zealand is trying to take reference from what someone's done in someone else's country and say we don't want that done here. Fair enough. Candace Owens applied for a visa, was denied her visa on entirely censorial and intolerant grounds.
And have
no
they sent you that 16-page argument they're making in the appeal in Aussie?
We have.
And that makes it quite clear that the minister intervened and was predisposed against her before the process even started.
That's exactly right. I mean, this is the essence of political interference, and that's up for the Free Speech Union in Australia to deal with. They killed the misinformation bill over there next week. Maybe they can pick up this week. But over here in New Zealand, it's not something we're going to stand for. The minister here, and this is where, Sean, I appreciate that Erica Stanford and possibly the Prime Minister have engaged on this issue. I know Chris Pink has a strong free speech commitment, and I'm confident that they will look at this case. However, Sean, frankly, I'm really disappointed that it ever got to this point.
Yeah.
I mean, for weeks now, or really actually months since Candace Owens' tour was announced, people have been banging drums and making noise about trying to get her shut out. And if I had been in that office, I would have said, Minister, we need to make it very clear to officials, in no circumstance are we going to be trying to pull strings to shut people out.
Well,
because you
Young
don't like their
Labour, I
opinion.
think, led the charge on this, and they put out a statement yesterday which was akin to Hitler Youth coming out with a press release after Kristallnacht saying, wasn't that a wonderful success?